We look at our children and we see in them what we maybe didn't get to live out in our childhood.
In my family, I'm the first one to go to a proper university and get a graduate degree. Where I grew up, it was a very sort of sharp sense of anti-Semitism ever since you were a kid. Like you're Jewish, and if you don't, your neighbors will tell you. So my family was sponsored by the Federation in Columbia, South Carolina. And in fact, I think we're the first family that came with sort of late 80s immigration wave where, American Jewish community helped Soviet Union right before the collapse. I was 15 years old and my parents maybe had $1,000. And then, the Jewish community kind of they rented us an apartment. My dad found a job. He found his first minimum wage job being a welder. My mom went working minimum job somewhere in the restaurant. That was the starting point.
So my family took a slightly different path. When an opportunity to leave Soviet Union became a reality, it's a sacrifice that was clear to them they had to make. We left former Soviet Union in '89. My father, he was able to find a job teaching math. My mother, she's a musician, so she was able to give private lessons. And as soon as I went to high school, I also went to find a job. We met when we were juniors in high school.
Yeah, and then we went to the prom, junior prom, and then senior prom, and then went to the same college afterwards. So.
I'm originally from New York, and then I went and did my undergrad at Duke University. After I got my PhD, I moved to Israel and did Aliyah there. I met my ex-husband there, and then my 3 children were all born in Jerusalem. I decided to leave Israel in 2006. After that, we had the opportunity to stay, and for many reasons, I decided that was the best thing to do. And I really came with almost nothing. I had almost no money. I'm a teacher. I teach children with special needs. Sort of lived like by week.
All 3 of us went to Dunwoody High School.
Yeah.
We'd been uprooted from our Israeli life, and now we were expected to find our, American Jewish life, which was very different. I did Camp Barney and did confirmation class, and we went to Hebrew school.
And when we came here, it was really, I was the only caregiver, and I was the main one supporting the children, and it was very, very difficult.
I grew up in West Palm and also Boca Raton. Being from Boca and not coming from a significantly wealthy family, a lot of my friends came from very well-off backgrounds where they did not have to worry about money for the most part. And I was there coming from a modest household with 2 Jewish professionals as parents. I was a day school kid. I was involved in my USY chapter and had a really involved Jewish upbringing, and I'm proud of that. I loved every second of it. I went to my parents when I was 7 years old and said, "Mom, Dad, I want to learn to play piano." And I took 6 years of piano lessons, played in the jazz band. I got the experience of being in front of groups of people. And so when I got to college, I went to University of Florida. I played in a country cover band, and I was just there playing bass, playing along. Didn't touch my soul in any way, and I joined the music staff at Camp Ramat Darom. That changed everything for me. So after I graduated with a bachelor's of science in geography, I was supposed to be a map maker, but the passionate soul side of me couldn't handle sitting at a desk making maps for the rest of my life. The temple is what really got me to Atlanta. They had a job opening for a music educator. We figured out a good plan for me to come and work at the temple for some time, and I spent 7 years crafting what I do and crafting my way of teaching music and building community.
My mom and my dad always said, you can do whatever you want, but you're gonna go and to the university and you're gonna succeed.
You were expected
it was non-negotiable.
to go on and get your higher education.
That's right.
And it was kind of up to us to figure out how to make that work. So JELF helped a lot.
I attended University of South Carolina, graduated from Honors College. JELF assisted me with my grad school and assisted Maria with law school as well.
Right. I went to Suffolk University Law School, and then later on I got my postgraduate degree in taxation at Boston University Law. We're just so grateful to JELF for setting us on that path and providing us that additional support that really helped us progress in our paths.
All of them have done something totally different. One's in fashion, one's going into medicine, the other one's going into history and archaeology.
Shani is definitely artistic.
She only ever talked about SCAD.
Yeah,
That
I think it was
only
SCAD or bust,
Yeah.
really.
I thought, okay, art school, how bad can it be? And then you get the tuition, and then you think, oh, okay, that's everything. But then you see that it's not. My middle one got the Zell Miller, and she wanted to do biology and pre-med. And my third daughter was a little bit worrisome because she wanted to go to Boston University because that's where the archaeology is, and that's an extremely expensive school. So we then had the room and board. When I was applying for JELF for the 3 children, I really found it quite easy. JELF has really given me all the support I needed for all of them.
After some time of doing all these different things, I said, what is it that I'm really doing? And the answer was exciting Jews about their Judaism. And when I found that answer, I said, I need to figure out how to do this better. I was like, who are my mentors right now? A significant amount of them were rabbis. I need to become a rabbi. I chose to go to Ziegler for rabbinical school. Los Angeles is very expensive. I live in a 3-bedroom apartment with roommates, and that helps with the rent cost. I was fortunate to have a debt-free undergraduate education. I knew that if I wanted to get another degree and to go back to school, I would need significant help. And so when I was trying to figure out my finances, how do I make this happen, right? Support myself while being a full-time student, taking almost 26 credit hours each semester. I heard about JELF. When I called Josh, I called him, I was like, hey, am I eligible for this? And he said, yeah, which surprised me. I was expecting to get a no, just because of my age and my situation and going to rabbinical school, and then I also am taking out significant student loans from the government at a high interest rate, and that hurts. As we speak, I'm accruing interest. When I was looking ahead towards this summer, going into my 2nd year of rabbinical school, I reached out to Rabbi Kamen, who I've known for many years. The shul and Rabbi Kamen said yes to taking me on as a summer intern.
Professionally, I work for a big public accounting firm. I'm partner at Ernst & Young. Maria is executive director at JP Morgan, right? So we're sort of succeeded with our degrees, in this professional world, and now it's kind of our turn to give the opportunity to kids, right?
It's a form of tzedakah that you can understand and you can appreciate and you can see the results of and the effect of. It was almost like a rite of passage or a coming of age kind of a moment when we paid off our JELF loans.
Once you start paying off the loans, you quickly realize how much value you get as, this is your people, your community supporting you, right? And that kind of goes full circle where, you're able to repay and then give back.
From UGA, where you can see your financial aid, they added a new feature on there that shows you your total loan and then how much it's going to be with interest. So every year when I get new financial aid, that number just keeps going up and up and up, and that's really scary. But I know that with JELF I have like one number, and that's how much I get to pay back eventually. So it's very comforting.
When you're paying back your JELF loans, you're giving back to a community that supported you, and it makes you feel more connected to your community rather than paying the government.
Yeah, I'm very proud of all of them. They all were able to pursue their dreams. I think it's just really important that if there's obstacles, you just find a way to get through them and then reach your goal.
Throughout history, Jews have had to support themselves. Being self-sufficient is important for us. I think that it's very important to provide ways for Jewish people to thrive. And to do that, it takes support finding the folks who are passionate about empowering the future leaders of the Jewish people. Not only that, but future leaders in the world. JELF doesn't look at, oh, are you going to study math or are you going to study rabbinics? You're going to further your education. A large part of being in the Jewish community is giving of yourself and your time and not asking much in return. With JELF, I have to first ask. And then after that, I'm able to then give back. Once I'm paying those loans back, they get, in essence, recycled. It's the circle of loans.